Do not compare, do not measure. No other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. We are not what happened to us, we are what we wish to become. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. We deem those happy who from the experience of life have learned to bear its ills without being overcome by them. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Solitude is for me a fount of healing which makes my life worth living. Talking is often a torment for me, and I need many days of silence to recover from the futility of words. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. A special ability means a heavy expenditure of energy in a particular direction, with a consequent drain from some other side of life. To me, dreams are part of nature, which harbors no intention to deceive but expresses something as best it can. Creative powers can just as easily turn out to be destructive. It rests solely with the moral personality. I have always been impressed by the fact that there are a surprising number of individuals who never use their minds if they can avoid it, and an equal number who do use their minds, but in an amazingly stupid way. The most important question anyone can ask is, what myth am I living? Show me a sane man, and I will cure him for you. Man needs difficulties, they are necessary for health. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. I regret many follies which sprang from my obstinacy, but without that trait I would not have reached my goal. The capacity for directed thinking I call intellect. The capacity for passive or indirect thinking I call intellectual intuition. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. We should not pretend to understand the world only by the intellect. We apprehend it just as much by feeling. Therefore, the judgment of the intellect is, at best, only the half of truth, and must, if it be honest, also come to an understanding of its inadequacy. As any change must begin somewhere, it is the single individual who will experience it and carry it through. The change must indeed begin with an individual. It might be any one of us. Nobody can afford to look round and to wait for somebody else to do what he is loath to do himself. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.